Hi, I'm Erik Linask, coming to you from the TMCnet newsroom, and I'm sitting here with TMC's president, Rich Tehrani. Hi, Rich.
Hey, how are you, Erik?
Good. We've got some exciting stuff going on here with the launch of a new magazine, NGN Magazine. What is NGN Magazine?
Well, thanks for asking. NGN Magazine is a new publication focusing on next-generation networks. It's geared towards service providers and the ecosystem which supports service providers as they build out next-generation networks.
What kind of things are people going to read in NGN Magazine?
Well, the focus of the publication is going to be fairly broad. Virtually everything that a service provider needs to know about in terms of wireless networks, wired networks, optical technologies, satellite will be discussed, cable. We're in an interesting time in that Web 2.0 technologies have come out, devices that are super powerful have come out in consumers' hands, and the networks that support these devices are just beginning to get strained to the point where they need to be upgraded and adjusted to support the needs of the users, and at the same time to maximize savings and maximize ARPU for the carriers.
So it's designed really for the service provider space and to help them understand how they can benefit and then leverage the new technologies.
Absolutely. So how do you deploy? What sorts of technologies should you be looking at? How will you integrate all these things together? The magazine was formerly IMS Magazine, IP Multimedia Subsystem, and although the title was IMS of that publication, we were pretty broad in our coverage. So we're going to broaden out even more, and with the rename of the publication, we believe that it's a more accurate representation of what the magazine's goals have been for the last few years since that magazine's been out.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting time, though, to be launching a new publication when a lot of competition in the space is cutting down on staff and even folding print publications, isn't it?
Agreed, and that's an interesting thing that we found with our publications. Although we do have TMC's got 4 publications right now: Internet Telephony, Customer Interaction Solutions. We've got IMS Magazine, which is becoming NGN Magazine, and also Unified Communications. These pubs are also available online, and at this point, the majority of our circulation for these magazines is digital. And subsequently, as opposed to, let's use an example of a newspaper that has to print millions of copies each day and has these really high fixed costs, we've got a much lower fixed cost because we've got an unbelievable audience of online participants that come to TMCnet. 2 to 3 million communications and technology executives come to TMCnet every month. And those executives, many of them want the magazine digitally, and subsequently we are happy to oblige them. It lowers our costs, and it also allows these magazines to get freely distributed more easily. I remember in the good old days, 10 years ago, when you didn't have magazines online, you had to actually take a magazine you liked and forward it around to each person, and maybe you would put their names on the front of the magazine, and that was the good old days. Now, something really interesting has happened with magazines available in PDF and using other technologies. We have found that many of our subscribers forward a magazine to an entire company. Just, they send it out, say, hey, check out this issue, and bang, the whole organization is able to read. So it's allowed us to get broader coverage. The website's going to be ngnmag.com. And we already have that domain name, and it currently points to IMS Mag, and eventually will point to its own URL. And we're happy to have everyone subscribe and learn what's happening in the world of next-generation service provider networks.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rich. So in January 2009, whether it's in print or online, be sure to check out the first issue of NGN Magazine.